Hi y'all, welcome back to another episode of Technically Adulthood with Jewel Simone. It is that's me, I'm her, of course, your host Jewel Simone. Okay, today, obviously, I don't have my video on. I just wasn't really feeling it. It's kind of a lot to just fix up my hair, do my makeup. I just really wasn't feeling it. Today I'm going to be talking about something that's a little bit more vulnerable. So you guys won't even be able to tell if I'm crying. No, I'm just kidding. It's not that serious. But yeah, I basically am just too hot for the camera right now. I literally look like Zendaya's twin, and you guys don't even know if that's the truth or not because the camera's not on, so you just have to believe me. Anyway, welcome back. Technically Adulthood. Let's get into it. Okay, so this show is all about just me and where I'm at in this stage of my life right now. I've been talking a lot about just what it's been living at home and being without a job and things like that, but it's really been weighing heavy on my heart, the topic of failure right now, because I feel I'm experiencing a lot of failure in this season, and it sucks. Nobody likes to feel like a failure. It literally just sucks. And so I was wouldn't it be such a great idea to come on this podcast and talk about every single time I've ever failed in my life? If you haven't been able to tell already, I don't really enjoy talking about serious stuff, and whenever I feel I'm getting in that territory, I literally physically cannot help but sing it out to make it a joke. It's a weird coping mechanism. That and the British accent thing that I do are just weird things that I've picked up along the way, so I don't have to actually process my emotions. Anyway, I'm sorry I keep doing that. Okay, so failure. I am applying for jobs right now, probably not as vigorously as I should be, but I am, and I was applying for 2 different jobs recently, and I just found out that I didn't get either of them, and I think that's what really sparked this feeling to need to talk about this, because I do not handle rejection well. I know that some people can get rejected or fail or do anything. My little brother's like this. He will get rejected and literally it will not make him think any less of himself. He will just keep going, and I really admire that about him. I think my older brother's like that actually too. Just for some reason, I guess my parents ran out of that self-confidence juice when they were making me. They just sort of felt they could breeze by it. Well, guess what? I'm suffering, okay? I'm suffering. Anyway, though, it was just really hard for me, and oftentimes when I'm failing, it's really, really hard for me to pick myself back up again. When I was 15 years old taking my driver's test, or I think it was actually my permits test, I failed the first time, and I literally did not go back to take that test again for 6 months. I just take failure and rejection so personally, and so deep, that it sucks. And right now, applying for jobs, obviously I'm not going to get every job I apply to. Sometimes I apply to jobs that I'm not qualified for. This one job I just got rejected from, I really wasn't qualified for it, but I just wanted it anyway. It seemed like a good gig, and it was still entry level. It's just nothing that I had a lot of experience with. And that's another thing. I feel a lot of times entry level jobs are not as entry level as they think they are. You can't require, I mean, I guess they can because they do it every day, but to require someone to have 3 to 5 years of experience in this field, it's a lot for an entry-level job that's paying I don't know, $14, $13 an hour. It's just, people are really trying it out here, and it's not for me. What else? In high school, I used to do theater a lot, and that was my thing, and I don't even know, I was good, but I was also at a small school, I wasn't, it's not clear whether or not I was ever going to accept a Tony Award for my skills, but it's something that I like to do. I felt I was pretty good at it, and when I got to college, I remember I went out and like practiced with the improv team. Literally one time I went out and practiced with them one time. And for those of you that don't know, when I was in high school, there's this thing called ThesCon. It's like, it's the most fun thing ever for a thespian. Like, you go and you meet up with all the thespians from all the high schools in your state, and it's just like a conference, and there's shows and there's workshops, and there's this thing called the Improv Olympics, and I was on the improv team the 2 years that we had one, and one year we won, and then the other year we came really close to winning, so I felt like I was pretty good at improv. And so for me to then go to that like rehearsal or practice at the college level, I literally was so nervous and I choked, and I like did not go back. Like, I just didn't go back because I was so, like, I felt defeated. I was like, oh, I'm not good. I don't need to be doing this anymore. And it's like, who knows if I really wasn't good or if I just was out of practice. Like, I should have gone another time, but that's the thing. Like, I just take rejection like so deeply personal, and I like have such a fear of failing that I would much rather just not do anything than like embarrass myself or like get my hopes up for something just to not get it. And I really would love to see like where that comes from and why I am that way. If there are any licensed therapists or even unlicensed, I don't even care about your qualifications because I'm not a picky entry-level job that requires you to have 3 to 5 years experience to diagnose me. If anyone in the comments wants to just go ahead and diagnose me, let me know why I'm so scared of failing. That would be great, and I'll just take your word for it. I don't care if you're Blake, my little 3-year-old cousin, she could diagnose me right now and I would believe her, because that's like, I really just want to get to the bottom of it. Well, so these are just like random thoughts in my head about failure, just because, like I said, I got rejected from those jobs and it just kind of was like, put a damper on the vibe. That the rejection did not pass the vibe check, unfortunately. And I just am at a point in my life, like I'm at a sort of crossroad. It's okay, guys, I have a degree, like, it's okay. I'm at this crossroad where it's like, I can sit here and like talk about the things that I wish I was doing, or I can actually do them. Like, this is another story about me failing, because that's literally all I want to talk about right now. It's just like every time I've ever failed in my life. When I was 19 years old, so that was 3 years ago, which is so crazy. It literally feels like yesterday. I auditioned for The Voice. A lot of people might know that I can sing. I love to sing. I'm always singing, like, just for no reason. I probably annoy everyone I've ever lived with, but I physically like can't stop singing. I just love to do it. Well, so I signed up to audition for The Voice, which was like huge for me because I also have major stage fright. So I signed up to audition, and then I got an email. Oh, I signed up and I posted a video of myself singing, and then I got an email from a like person, talent scout, whatever, who was like working on The Voice, and she was like, hey, I saw your sign up. I want to invite you to this private audition. Here's the deeds. Let me know. And so I had to like fill out all this like pre-paperwork. Went to the private audition. I was so scared. I was so nervous, but I did it. I sang. I did not prepare for it the way that I should have, but I still somehow like made it to the next round. I went upstairs. I did this like camera interview, like this, I guess, just so they can get like a feel for my personality from like the big guys upstairs who make like the final decisions to make sure that I'm like fit for TV or something. They asked me to play like Would You Rather and just like sort of chat about myself and my family. And so I was really, really excited, because from that point, all I had to do was like make it out of the best in St. Louis, and then I would go to LA, audition one more time, and then I would be on the show. And I was like, oh my gosh, like this is gonna be so cool. Well, obviously, has anyone seen me on The Voice? No, right, because I didn't make it. I didn't make it out of like that St. Louis round, and like that was so hard for me, like, because it was so hard for me to put myself out there in the first place, and then to then get rejected. Like, it was just like, what's the point? I feel like has a lot to do with it too. It's like, it's really hard for me to like put myself out there and like be vulnerable and like really care about something. So when I do that, when I do that and then I fail anyway, it's kind of like, why am I even doing that? But like now I'm at this point in my life where I'm old enough, like this is game time. Like I can't keep living in my comfort zone, because for me, I know that it means I'm living underneath my potential, and my dreams will never come true that way. I have so many goals and so many dreams for my life, and like none of them are ever going to come true if I'm too quiet or too shy or too scared or too whatever to do anything about them. And so honestly, this episode is like really just for me, like to remind myself and to listen and hear myself talk about all the times I failed. And it's like, did you die though? Like, did you die? No, you're still alive. Okay, there's a reason for that. You know what I mean? And like, I just want this to serve as like a reminder for me to keep pushing it. Yeah. Just like keep pushing and keep like going. And the best things in life are outside of your comfort zone. And it's like so funny because my mom's a life coach, and like all of these cliches, like I hear every single day of my life when she like goes live on Facebook, or when she has an event, or when whatever, like when she's literally just talking to me, like every cliche in the book about like how to be successful, and like fear is just a feeling, be scared but go anyway, whether you think you can or you think you can't, you're right. Like I literally know all of these things, but I just need to act on that knowledge. Like something's not clicking. I just wanted to talk about this because for me, like a part of stepping out of my comfort zone is like being vulnerable. I really don't like to be vulnerable. And so for me to then post a video outlining every time I've ever failed in my life on the internet, that it's a great first step. Oh, I do want to say though, before I go, the biggest fail of my life, I meant to talk about this, is my college career, my college history. Like in the long run, it wasn't a fail because I graduated and now I have that degree. But like, if you would have asked me seriously, my freshman year of college, my second semester, if I thought I would be graduating, let alone graduating in 4 years, the answer would be absolutely not. I talked about it briefly, like in the first episode, I think, but my college career was literally like the most disastrous piece of, I don't even know what, that I could ever even think about. Like, go in freshman year, was so excited. If you know me like really closely, you know like I had pretty strict parents growing up, and this is not like me deflecting blame, like everything I did was my fault. But like usually when people have like stricter parents and they get like that little bit of freedom, they go buck wild, and that is exactly what I did. Like my priorities were not in check. I was just, partying, socializing, like doing whatever, like everything besides like what I needed to be doing. Like I literally remember vividly sitting down, my best friend Lena was in town, like we were gonna go out for that weekend to like the frats, and I had like homework that I needed to do, because I bet it was like a Thursday or something, or maybe, I don't even know, but I had homework that I needed to do, and I literally was like, oh, it's 8 o'clock, like it's time for me to leave, my homework's not done, like who cares, and like would just go out and party. Like my priorities were nowhere in line, and my grades reflected that. I think I ended that semester with like a 2.4, and I had a scholarship, and I needed a 2.5 to keep that. And so then I was on like probation with my scholarship. I'm on probation with my parents, because like that is not like acceptable grades in my household. That is nowhere near like what I was bringing home in high school. So then I go back for a second semester, and I have to like report my grades to my mom. Every test I have to like tell her like what I got on it. And I literally still like, it wasn't clicking to me like how serious it was for me to be like actually taking school seriously. And so I would just lie. Like she would ask me what I got on a test, and I would literally just lie and like say, oh, I got an 8 out of 10. And then if I really got like a 3 out of 10, and I'm just like, oh, okay, I guess I'll just have to make that up on the next test. Well, then that never happened, obviously, because that semester I ended up with like, I can't even remember, it was like a 1 point something, like literally so low. And my parents were like, all right, that's it, like taking me out of school. I went to Lindenwood that next year because it was closer to home, and I did really well there. I rushed DZ. I was super involved. I was in leadership positions. I had like a 3.5 GPA, and I was like on track to go do the Disney College program that next semester. And then I decided I didn't want to do the Disney College program because I wanted to go back to Mizzou and party, because I guess my priorities still weren't in check. I missed all my friends. I thought I was really missing that like big school lifestyle. So then when I was back at Mizzou, my grades still weren't like stellar. Like they weren't terrible, but they weren't like anywhere near what they were at Lindenwood. And so my parents were really sort of like, this last semester is your last chance. Like, we're not going to keep funding you to like go and like have your priorities out of whack. And so that second semester of my junior year, I started buckling down. And then first semester senior year was fine, and then I found the opportunity to go to Thailand, and I was sort of like building my way back up. And it's like, it's so telling of like just me as a person, because I always, no matter what I'm doing, like I always like am doing things at the last minute. Like it's just how I am. So it's like, of course I would like live my best life at the last minute. Like of course I would like get a job and go on a study abroad trip that happens to be worth college credit. And of course I would figure out a way to like graduate in 4, because I always just figure it out at the very last minute. And that's, I mean, it's not the best way to do it, because it caused us a lot of stress those first 3 years, but the point is like I got it done. And so I think that that is sort of like telling of my life and like where I am right now. Like this whole quarantine corona situation has not been good for me. Like I've not been eating the way that I need to be eating. I've been gaining weight. I've just been like really lazy, not been looking for jobs. But I'm hoping that like we're sort of towards the end of that stage for me, and I can like pull it all together in the last round. Like that's, again, like I said, this episode's more for me than anything. Like I really just want to like remind myself that like failure's gonna happen. Like I failed so many times at Mizzou. I literally could not stop failing if someone paid me. But I figured it out. I worked it out. And it's just like everyone goes through things at a different pace. Everyone is on their own journey, and like everyone's just like where they are in life. It's like you're perfect, like right where you are. Like I know it's so cliche, but it's so true. That's the thing about cliches. It's like they're usually so true. And I want to make sure that I am reminding myself of that. And if there is anyone out there listening that needed that reminder, I hope that this has helped you. That's the thing. It's like I want to be talking to people my age, and I want to be like just sharing experiences. Like it helps me to know that what I'm going through, I'm not going through it alone, but it also is hard for me to be vulnerable. So I'm going to try to be more vulnerable, especially like through this podcast, and hopefully that will help me find my people. I mean, I already have like, you know, my friends, but like just more people that are going through what I'm going through, so it will let me understand that like it's normal, everything I'm feeling, and I just have to like push through the storm. So there you go. I mean, that's me. That's it. Josh, I'm sorry! I forgot.
Where is it?
Give me a second to think about that. It wasn't in the bathroom? I think it might be in the bathroom. Dang it, I meant to get that before. It's out there?
No.
Wait, is it right there? Right here. It's not here?
Nope.
Josh, wait. You don't need to relax, but can you? Oh, it's right here. It's right here. It's right here. Love you. Okay, I feel like that is the perfect way to end this like somewhat serious episode. Joshua bursting into my room and accusing me of stealing his charger, which I did, but I intended on putting it back before he got home from work so he would never even know that I took it, but I forgot to do that. And so that's it. That's everything I wanted to say this week. Thank you for listening, and I don't know, leave a comment. Tell me if you have something to say. Please talk to me about like your fears and your like vulnerabilities, because I would love to not be alone in this. Okay, so I'm vulnerable. I'm scared to fail, and that's okay. Be afraid, but go anyway. This is technically adulthood. I'll see you next time. Or I guess you'll hear me next time, because just in case, like, next time I don't have my video on. But you get the point. Bye.
Bye.